No.1 Sentai Kizunager, Bond 16, The Mage and the Burning Blood, in the spacecraft known as Shred Dawn, Togo Asagaki, Kizuna Red, and Poseidon, Yihdra's butler, were being imprisoned by the Bansouenders after trying to retrieve the Royal Scepter from the Masta Bonded King is pleased at Bakurenki for completing his mission and plans to use its power to rewrite the past and the future to prevent the New World Daybreak from happening. As Togo tries to break free from their prison cell, Poseidon blames Togo for failing to keep his promise to keep the Royal Scepter safe from the Bansouenders and that he's too reckless and cocky for believing that his responsibility is all just a game to him. This made Togo angry at Poseidon and tells him that he isn't joking around as he forces Poseidon to help him escape so they can retrieve the Royal Scepter back from the Bonded King. Meanwhile at Magus Academy, Yihdra or villain, Kizuna Magus, and Wanda Beastial were being taken hostage by the Matte Masta Bondki, who plans to hypnotize the students to be his faithful servants to create a utopia to keep the kingdom safe from harm's way. But this led to Wanda to recognize the Bondki monster's goal as she was horrified that it was her father, Cosmo Beastial, being corrupted by his dark bonds as Yihdra manages to break free from the restraints and help Wanda to escape the classroom. So now Yihdra and Wanda run towards the hallway to get away from the Matte Masta Bondki as he orders the students to go after them to make sure that they won't interfere with his plans to create a utopia to honor Haiti Arviln's death. Meanwhile at the Avalost Castle, the Kizunagers, Logi, Teltina, Rainaya, and Ezra, meets up with Emperor Galtis, Teltina's father, to ask him for his help to retrieve the Royal Scepter from the Bansouenders since they can't allow the Bonded King to use its power to conquer both of their worlds. But the Emperor can't allow to interfere with the Bansouenders holding the powers of the Royal Scepter since it's the law for someone to challenge the user of the scepter to gain its possession. But Teltina explains to her father that sometimes rules can be broken for a good reason as she demands to have the royal family assist her and the other Kizunagers to retrieve the scepter back from the Bansouenders in order for peace to remain in the kingdom. So now the Emperor agrees to assist the Kizunagers as he orders the royal guards to keep the kingdom from getting into danger while they fight to win back the Royal Scepter. Back at Magus Academy, Yihdra and Wanda are hiding from the hypnotized students as she is shocked to find out that Matte Masta Bondki is Wanda's father. Wanda explains to Yihdra that her father is one of the teachers who teaches about magical bonds since he cherished a strong bond with Yihdra's father back in the day before he was exiled from the kingdom. This made Yihdra shocked to find out that Wanda's father had a strong connection with her father as she realized that there was one class that she never got to finish. Magical bonds, since she believed that it was silly and a waste of time due to her being insecure about making friends after getting mocked for her failures. So now Yihdra decided to accept Wanda as her friend to embrace the magical bonds of friendship, which triggers her elemental bond energy to free the students from being hypnotized by the Matte Masta Bondki's control as she pulls out her bond plate and inserts it into her Kizuna brace to transform into Kizuna Magus to face against the Matte Masta Bondki with Wanda giving her support. Just then, Yihdra was given a new weapon due to her forming a bond with Wanda as she forged two pistol guns and calls them the elemental Tenta-Guns to shoot at the Matte Masta Bondki to weaken him a bit as she performs the elemental Kizuna shot to finally defeat the Matte Masta Bondki for good to free Wanda's father from his dark bonds as she retrieves the high school hero's bonded key and transform it into the high school hero's legend bond plate. So now Wanda is relieved that Yihdra saved her father from his dark bonds as she finally completed the last assignment to graduate from Magus Academy. But Cosmo warns Yihdra that the Bansouenders are planning to use the Royal Scepter to conquer both Earth and another world to prevent the Kizunagers from creating a new world. Meanwhile in the streets of Mesa City, the Kizunagers, Night, Rise, Orange, and Gold, arrived at the scene with the royal guards as they witness the Bonded King showing up in person leading the Endermates, Jadrise, Hangaka, Bakurenki, and Orgy. and the Tenta-Guns for a rematch to earn back the title of the Royal Scepter, while Togo and Poseidon are watching this from a distance as they are being restrained from interfering, as the Bonded King is proven to be more powerful for the Kizunagers to handle on their own since he holds the power of the Royal Scepter now. Poseidon couldn't bear with himself for believing that it was his fault for making Togo lose the Royal Scepter to the Bansouenders, and explains to him that he feels replaced by him for growing closer with Yihdra in order for earn the title back from Shaw, as he's afraid about Yihdra no longer needing him anymore after supporting her for years when Yihdra's father died. This made Togo understand Poseidon's feelings, as he knows what it's like to feel irreplaceable, which triggers a newborn bond with him burning brightly in his soul, which melted the glue from their wrists and freed each other from the restraints. So now Togo embraced the burning bond energy of his connection with Yihdra as he pulls out the burning blood bond plate and inserts it into his Kizuna brace to transform into Kizuna Red burning blood to face against the Bansouenders and win back the Royal Scepter for Yihdra. This allows Togo to forge a new weapon from his burning bonds and calls it the Universe Decalibur to allow him to use the bond plates from his friends and the legend bond plates to create special attacks, as Yihdra shows up to assist the other Kizunagers to win back the Royal Scepter from the Bansouenders. After witnessing Togo transforming into his burning blood form, Togo manages to retrieve the Royal Scepter from the Bonded King, which allows him to turn his friends into their bond plates and inserts them into his Universe Decalibur to perform the Isekai Kizuna Burning Slasher to take down the Bonded King. But instead Bakurenki takes the hit for him as he was finally defeated for good, as he explodes into nothing, which led to Yihdra to retrieve the Abaranger Bonded Key from the ground as it transforms into the Abaranger Legend Bond Plate. The other Ender mates were horrified that Bakurenki was destroyed for taking the hit for the Bonded King, as they yell at the Kizunagers that they will avenge their fallen companion if it's the last thing they ever do, before teleporting away from the scene with the Bonded King to regain their strength. A few days later, Togo and his friends are happy for Yihdra for finally graduating from Magus Academy, as she is now an officially licensed mage, but feels a bit sad about not seeing Wanda again for a while. Just then, Yihdra was surprised that Wanda and her father showed up to congratulate her for finishing school and saving their lives from the Bansouenders, as Yihdra sees Togo and Poseidon getting along at last after retrieving the Royal Scepter from the Bonded King, and was grateful to carry on her father's legacy to use the Royal Scepter to create a better place for the people of Ava Lost City. Meanwhile, at the spacecraft known as Shred Dawn, Jadrise and the other Ender mates are furious about the Kizunagers destroying Bakurenki, as they vow to themselves that they will avenge his death by tearing them apart one by one, until that only leaves Togo left standing for the Ender mate to finish him off to finally get their revenge to honor his sacrifice.